RickT, Outdoor Adventure, and Billy Dog. He's about here, he'll turn up in a second, he always does when I'm talking. So, we've been out for today, we've had a cracking day. It's knocking on now, it's about 8 o'clock. It's been 29 degrees all day, it's still about 24, 25 now I reckon, it's still warm. So ferro rods, to some extent, people see them not really survival. Some people do. But I'm part of the Bushcraft Floppy Hat Society, as you can see. And I love my bushcraft, but I love my survival. I'm also part of that survival community. And I love ferro rods.
Usually made from a combination of pyrophonic materials like magnesium, cerium, iron, lanthanum, neodymium and various other ions, and having very low combustion temps when you apply friction using a 90-degree sharp edge that's harder than the rod.
So I've got two ferrocerium rods with me, like you can see. This one's had a lot of hammer, that's a few years old, that's had a lot of use. These are really good, these TBS ones, they're really good ferrocerium rod. I use that with my groups when I'm working, etc. They're really good, I really like them. Really good for kids, they give off loads of good spikes. Yeah, a really good ferrocerium rod. This, like I say, is one I've had for years. Yeah, the standard of rods can, you know, alter quite a bit, can be quite different between rods. How hard they are, how soft they are, how many degrees spikes they fire off. You know, it can vary quite a bit between rods. But it's just finding one that you like, and they still all work. You just got to work with what you've got. But these are really good, I like these. So like I've said, I'm a bushcrafter, I'm part of the Floppy Hat Brigade, but I'm still a survivalist as well. Yep, I'm absolutely bang on keen on my survival skills, etc. And I would no way be without a ferro rod in a survival kit. Yep, I'd have 2 lighters, 100%, might have more than 2 lighters, but I'd definitely have one of these as well. The good thing about these is it's going to last for thousands of fires. Yep, if you're going to be economical on it, if you're going to prepare your tinder properly so that you're going to light it within a few strikes, these are going to last for thousands of fires. Don't worry about it if it's taking you 10, 12, 15 strikes, they're still going to last a long time. But I wouldn't be without these. They'll work when it's wet, there's no mechanical bits in it. Yep, I mean, if you've got an orange one like that, they're going to be relatively hard to lose, as would an orange lighter. But like I say, they're not going to run out, they're going to last. Yep, and if you know what you're doing, how to use them, if you're good at processing tinder, yeah, you're halfway there. Never be without one. The larger the rod, the more the spikes, the longer the stroke you've got. So if you're starting off at the handle and going to the end, you're going to get more spikes, aren't you? So you've got 2 different sizes of rod here. A longer one, more spikes, more chance of igniting that tinder. Lots of ways to use these, many ways to strike these. Your more simple way, this is your TBS bore one that comes with a striker. A lot of them come with a striker. You'll be able to feel a burr on that striker. The side with the burr is the side you want to strike. So the easiest way, the most simple way that most people do it, is they just hold it and just fire that down. Yep, there's a place for that. Yep, that is the easiest way to strike this. The ones that come with this, that is the easiest way. So just to light your tinder with that, very simple, aim at your tinder and fire it on. So each technique of striking is good for different methods of fire lighting. That simple technique of striking down with the rod is great for lighting things like King Alfred's cakes, certain funguses. It's great for that. Yep, so we've got a little bit of fungus here. I'm just going to rough that up in the middle. And then I want to fire my spikes down onto that. Use that simple way that we just did of firing the spikes straight down it. There. So that simple strike is a really good option for lighting things like King Alfred's fungus, stuff like that, that we know is going to take a spark readily. Just hold it in your hands and fire it on it. For kids lighting cotton wool for practicing, stuff like that, that works brilliantly. Fire it on. But if you're using more delicate tinders and you don't want to knock them away, you want your sparks to be more controlled, I'll show you a better way. That's a Bobby Dazzler, isn't it? So for more direct sparks using birch bark here, if I was to just be firing like this, there's a good chance I'm going to hit this little bit of shavings that I've shaved up. Yep, there's little bits of scrapings, and once I've knocked them all over the place, I'm not going to get them back together. So in this instance, your best way here is to hold your rod down on top. So my rod's being held down, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to push down the length of the rod, pinning my birch bark down. There. See how much, so easy that, without knocking them away. Just a quick change in the way you use it. Yeah, that easy. Your other way of doing it in this instance, I'd always go for that, pinning it down, but you have other options. Another option is to hold the ferro rod, and instead of firing down, you fix this hand and pull the rod back. Yep, so in this instance, I'm going to fix my striker down, and it's my rod that's going to move. So same thing. There, and we're away. And like I say, the benefits of these are, if I'm striking like this, you've a tendency to knock this and knock it away. So fixing that hand, that top hand, fixing it down solid, and then pulling back is a great way of doing it. You've way less chance of knocking the material everywhere. Another good technique would be to shave some of the ferrocerium, some of the rod off into little shavings before firing that strike down. Shaving bits of the rod off, you've got something else to light, that's some more tinder. So not only would I have my birch shavings, I'd also have shavings of that ferrocerium. So once it lit the birch, that ferrocerium would then kick in and give it more heat. So that again will be a really great technique to use. But like I say, as far as saving your rod, extending its life, you're taking a little bit off there because you're shaving those bits off. Before you do your hard strike, just shave some little bits off slowly. I'll show you. So what I'll do, I'm going to gently shave some little bits off. And all I'm doing there is I'm giving an extra bit to light, so it soon kicks in even better when that spark hits. Push, you've got that more heat. If you want to be good at lighting fires, you've got to be able to do feather sticks. They open up a new world when everything's wet. Other techniques, depending what sort of kit you've got, that feather stick, great skill to master. Get the feather sticks going. Yeah, fantastic. You've got a feather stick and you can use a ferro rod. You're on it. I'll get my big ferro rod out. Also, next technique, knife. So a good bushcraft knife, survival knife, will have a square edge, a nice 90-degree angle on the edge of this. That will fire these sparks off this like no man's business. And there we have fire. That easy. So that was pulling, that was using a knife, a good bushcraft knife, 90-degree edge.
The same technique can be used with many other tools. Axes, saws, Swiss Army knives are just a few. Try them.